What's up, my comic comrades? Happy Moon Knight release day. That's right, Moon Knight is now officially streaming on Disney+, and I couldn't be more excited to watch it. So excited, I'm wearing my Moon Knight shirt. Yes, I know, I'm wearing a DC shirt while talking about a Marvel character. Let's all get over it, people. Over the past week or so, we've been bringing you all a series of Moon Knight episodes, and today we're bringing it all together with a look at Khonshu, the Egyptian moon god who gives Moon Knight his power. So after this episode, you'll be more familiar with the character and ready to dive into the Disney Plus series. But before we dive in, we want to thank Hero Wars for sponsoring today's episode. This is my dude Galahad, the first hero you get when you start playing the cool action RPG, Hero Wars. Yes, if you're anything like me, you're always looking for a fun new game to pass the time or just to take a mental break. Well, Hero Wars is exactly that. Besides Galahad, I've already collected and started leveling up several other great heroes like Queen Mao and her dragon, Mojo and his Totem of Wrath, Ginger who wields a wicked lead storm, and a bunch of other dope characters. And each hero has a set of skins that also boost their stats to make them more formidable in battle. The game has 6 different modes, including the arena where you could fight other players in the game, the outland where you could take on one of 3 different bosses to collect new skins for your heroes, then there's the tower, the airship, and more. Along the way, you'll complete missions and gather equipment, coins, and even soul stones to unlock the best heroes. So join me and more than 100 million other players already locked in on Hero Wars using our link in the description. And by using our link, you'll get started with a bonus chest that will give you a secret hero, as well as 600 emeralds and 30,000 gold. So scan this QR code or download Hero Wars from the link in the description now. We'll see you in the game. Now it's time to talk some Khonshu, so let's get into it. The Marvel version of Khonshu was created by Doug Bunch and Bill Sienkiewicz. He first appeared in Moon Knight issue 1 in August of 1980. The character is based on the Egyptian god of the moon and vengeance, known primarily in real-world ancient Egyptian mythology as Khonshu. The lunar power this god possesses is said to heal, protect, and avenge. As for his avatar on Earth, of course that would be Moon Knight. The name Khonshu loosely means to wander, or at least to imply the moon's tendency to wander in the night sky. Anyway, like I just said a minute ago, we first see him in Moon Knight issue 1. Where we were given Moon Knight's origin. Here we see Mark Spector is working for Raoul Bushman's mercenary group in Egypt. The group then stumbles upon an archaeological dig consisting of scientists and researchers who are analyzing ancient artifacts. One of which is the statue of Khonshu. But Bushman could care less about any artifacts, he just wants the gold these scientists will find. And when the lead researcher, Dr. Peter Elron, finds out about this, he tries to stop Bushman, which leads to Bushman killing him by snapping his neck. But Spector isn't too happy about Bushman killing this old man, so he's like, yo, you and me, Bushman, hand to hand, we're fighting now. But things don't turn out so well for Spector, as he's nearly beaten to death and then left for dead in the blazing heat of the Egyptian desert. Spector awakens saying, where am I? Nowhere. They left me to die. The sun is rising, no shelter, no hope. And after wandering the desert all day, he is found at nightfall by wandering Egyptians who belong to the cult of Khonshu. But when they find Spector, he literally collapses before them. They then bring him to the Khonshu temple and lay him at the feet of his statue. But unfortunately, after nearly being beat to death and then forced to wander the blazing desert all day, Spector dies in front of the statue of Khonshu. But as we all know, the one thing that can bring you back to life is a god. And right after he dies, Khonshu appears to Spector in a vision, offering to bring him back to life if he agrees to be Khonshu's spirit of vengeance on Earth. And as the captions in the comics say, perhaps it is a natural phenomenon which causes Mark Spector's heart to resume throbbing. Perhaps it is something else. Telling us that Spector agreed to Khonshu's terms as he's been brought back to life. Now alive once again and imbued with the power of Khonshu, Spector grabs Khonshu's shroud or cloak off the statue, putting it on himself, and then goes after Bushman, this time getting his revenge and defeating him easily. Now, as the avatar of Khonshu, Moon Knight acts as his vengeance on Earth, taking out criminals in very violent fashion. So all of what I just said simultaneously gave you Mark Spector's origin, but it also shows you Khonshu's first appearance and why he chose Spector to be his avatar. Now, even though Khonshu chose Spector to be his avatar, he often torments Spector, literally saying stuff like, you're pathetic and just a useless mortal, essentially making him beg for his power to be a hero. Khonshu also frequently tells Spector that he owes him his life because if it wasn't for him, he would still be dead. If you guys have watched the new season of Cobra Kai, it's kind of like the Kreese Silver scenario, where Kreese is constantly holding it over Silver's head that he saved his life back in the day. And just like that, I bring 2 nerd worlds together. Now, taking a step back and looking at Khonshu's actual origins, and not just his first appearance and how he granted Mark Spector the title of Moon Knight, we learned that he's the son of Autumn or Amon-Ra. Ra is the god of the sun and king of the gods, and one of the most powerful of the pantheon. That's right, his father is the god of the sun or king of the gods, which only makes sense. As for his mother, that would be Amenet, who was the air goddess. She, of course, was impregnated by Amun-Ra and gave birth to Khonshu in the celestial Heliopolis, which was the home dimension of Egyptian gods known as Enid. However, there's a rumor/theory going around that Khonshu was actually the adopted son of Amun-Ra. Another interesting thing to know about Khonshu is that according to Null, former god of the symbiotes until Eddie Brock took the position for himself, Khonshu was in fact an ancient elder god who protects Earth. And he was just incorporated into the mythologies of its mortal inhabitants after settling on Earth at least 1 million years in the past. It's like a certain clown says, if you're gonna have a past, it might as well be multiple choice. Anyway, around 1 million BC, Khonshu was, let's just say, a little pissed off that he wasn't offered membership into the Stone Age Avengers. Now, I'm gonna stop for a second because I know there's at least some of you that are like, what? The Stone Age Avengers? What the hell are you talking about, Arris? Well, during the Stone Age, there was a group of very powerful beings who assembled at the dawn of man to defeat the crazy celestial Zagreb, who of course was trying to destroy Earth. Maybe one day we will give them their own video. It's actually pretty interesting. Anyway, Khonshu, being offended that they didn't offer him membership, was like, fine, I'm going to choose a human avatar who would become Khonshu's first Moon Knight. Don't worry, we'll talk more about this first Moon Knight later. He then used his Moon Knight to enforce Khonshu's will on Earth and piss off the Avengers on his behalf. This would eventually lead to the establishment of the cults of Khonshu and succession of Moon Knight. Just like Dr. Fate, Moon Knight is a title bestowed on someone, not a single person. And here's something really interesting about Khonshu. He would battle with the Egyptian god Ra constantly for millennia, having been reborn again and again through avatars on Earth. But Khonshu was a true badass, and he beat Ra every single time. We would also find out that Khonshu was not only the god of the moon and vengeance, but also the god of time. Now let's talk about a few people Khonshu has selected to be Moon Knight over the centuries. The first Moon Knight ever was an unidentified caveman from 1 million BC. He was a worshipper who led the cult of Khonshu and became Khonshu's first avatar to fight the Stone Age Avengers. Then around 4000 BC, Khonshu chose a Moon Knight from Mesopotamia to serve as his avatar in the Earth realm. She just wore a simple mask and had sharp cloth gloves, looking like a dollar store Wolverine. But all kidding aside, she was a nut. She straight up killed Kang's forces. Then you have the time in 300 BC where Khonshu recruited a Roman gladiator to become a Moon Knight. He even recruited a medieval Moon Knight in the Middle Ages. But it gets better, friends. Khonshu went down the line recruiting a Viking Moon Knight, a Patriot Moon Knight, a Pirate Moon Knight, even a gangster Moon Knight from Chicago who carried a Tommy gun. In the end, however, Mark Spector is by far the most recognizable and known Moon Knight. But now that you got a brief history of who and what Khonshu is, where he came from, and how he works, let's take a look at his powers and abilities. For some quick perspective, the dude is a god, which means he can do almost anything. In general, it's always difficult to break down the powers and abilities of gods in comics or fiction because the title of god kinda speaks for itself. But for the sake of giving you an idea of what I'm talking about, Khonshu has superhuman strength, durability, immortality, magic manipulation, power absorption, teleportation, you name it. He can do it because one more time, with feeling, he's a god. And for some good Khonshu reading recommendations, check out Moon Knight Epic Collection Bad Moon Rising, Moon Knight Epic Collection Shadows of the Moon, Moon Knight Volume 1 The Bottom, and Moon Knight Volume 1 From the Dead. That should be more than enough to get you all started. First up for the week of the 30th, we have Dark Ages issue 6. All the sacrifices made on the day the world went dark could be for nothing if Apocalypse has his way. Some of the greatest minds on the planet have been enslaved by the Tyrant and are working on a plan that could end in annihilation. Next up, we have DC vs. Vampires issue 6. This has been one of my favorite titles, and in this issue, Batman gets the upper hand on the vampires who have infiltrated the Justice League. But the Vampire King finally reveals himself, and it will be the most jaw-dropping moment of 2022. Here we have the Hulk issue 5. As President Thunderbolt Ross rains down gamma-irradiated hell, Bruce Banner's Starship Hulk experiment faces its toughest field test yet. This time, it might crack under the pressure. Bruce Banner thinks his control over the Hulk is now absolute, but what if he's wrong? Now we have the sensational Wonder Woman Special issue 1. Wonder Woman stars in 3 sensational stories that will push her to the limits. Will the Amazon princess come out on top after battling the lights of Circe, Blue Snowman, and the Throne of Doom? And finally, we have Batman Beyond the White Knight issue 1. A new Batman has emerged in the city, and only Bruce is fully aware of the dangers to come. It's time to destroy the mantle for good, but he'll need one of his forgotten sons to help him do so. Enter Jason Todd, the first Robin. And that's gonna bring today's episode to a close, but if you like this video, check out this one to my left, your right, and if you like our channel, subscribe, like, and comment. You know the deal, it helps us out. But other than that, I'll see you guys next time when I talk about all things comics.